Fractal's up to their old tricks. Look at that. This is the Torrent Compact. We reviewed the Torrent a while back. I really liked the Torrent, especially for like doing a desktop server build. I mean, we're still waiting on Threadripper 5000. Screw it, just build a Milan workstation, which is what I did. Dual socket Milan workstation. Oh boy, it's fast. And I did that in the original Fractal Torrent. This one's a little different. It's the Torrent Compact. 180mm front fan. Streamlined, open interior, and top-mounted PSU. Yes, that's right. This has a top-mounted PSU. GPU support bracket that helps your GPU stay level. It's built into the case. It's space optimized, yet capable of handling an eATX motherboard up to 274mm wide. That means Threadripper, right? You know that means Threadripper. Or the aforementioned Epic Milan workstation. I gotta get some more Epic Milan motherboards. It's been hard to get parts lately. Everything. No two people are not on fire. It's been a while, since Homestar Runner. Torrent Compact accessories. The accessory box is rather compact itself. Want to talk about a case that's got breathability? There is no case. Now, with this case, you're not going to be relocating those giant 180mm fans to the top or the bottom. You could mount a radiator in the bottom, and there is a front intake dust filter. Oh, that breathes so well. Look at the giant fans! And there's so much room for activities in the back. It has a fan hub. There's room for 9 fans on the fan hub. 9 fans! There's even room for a 3.5-inch drive on top. And a fill port. They thought of everything. Behind the motherboard tray, there are room for 3 2.5-inch drives, each with their own removable tray. Look what a bottom dust filter. It's so big. For the top panel, we have 2 USB Type-A ports, 5GB, 1 Type-C port, a reset button, and a large ample power button. We also have separate headphone and microphone jacks. Now, the accessory box contains your GPU support as well as adapter brackets. So if you're not going to use the giant fans in the front, which if you're going to buy this case, I'd really recommend that you do, but it does come with the brackets to let you use radiators. So you could use multiple radiators in the front as well as the bottom. As with all cases, we must do a build. To build in a case is to know a case. Let's toss the Threadripper in there with a tower cooler. Give it a challenge. Now, RGB that I've added notwithstanding, it's a pretty smart case. It's no bigger than it needs to be. It has tremendously good airflow, even before I add the 3D printed fan bracket. The rear fan, 120mm, there's almost enough room for 140mm, so I designed a 3D printable bracket that will let you run a 140mm fan, assuming that you've got clearance at the back of your motherboard and your CPU cooler. But even with no fan here, there's a lot of airflow just straight out the back of the case, just because I've got a fan at the bottom that's lifting air from the bottom, as well as their 2 giant fans at the front. And it's whisper quiet. I mean, you guys know this microphone picks up everything, and this machine's been running the whole time. That's pretty darn good. Fractal's done a nice job with the Torrent Compact, in my opinion. There's nothing really to obstruct the airflow for the giant fans in the front. If for some reason you need to run a radiator in the front, there are adapter brackets that will let you do that. It's not built into the case. I understand that some case manufacturers do that as a cost-saving measure to just have one universal front, but it does restrict the airflow just a bit. This case, no airflow restriction. It is a little unusual having the power supply mounted at the top, but for this case design, it works well. Fractal's done a nice job. If you're the type who's paying attention to the back and you're saying there's no thumb screws to hold the side panels on, well, there is actually optionally a spot for thumb screws for each of the side panels. So you can lock the side panels in place with a single screw underneath the top. And then of course you can hold the top in with thumb screws as well. So if you travel with your machine a lot, you can lock it down. Now this build does not feature the GPU retention bracket because it doesn't yet have a GPU, but that'll be a nice touch when it comes time to add that. And our system here, this is a Threadripper. It's the 2950X. So it's a little bit of an older system. It's running an Aorus motherboard. That's new. It's got a built-in 10 gig Ethernet and some other nice features. That is a larger than average, let's say, ATX motherboard. I hesitate to call it EATX because it's the Threadripper era, and they sort of did their own thing with motherboards. So it's the wider motherboard, not the taller motherboard. This case is not really going to be compatible with the taller motherboards, but just the wider motherboards. And I was still able to use the cable management at the back of this case, although my cable management does leave a little bit to be desired. But hey, one other thing I'll give a quick mention to that'll definitely be of interest to home labbers. This case fits great side to side in a 19-inch rack. Now you do have to take the feet off, and I really would like to do some 3D printing here to make this a little cleaner so that you could just set it on a rack shelf. But yeah, it'll fit in between a 19-inch rack. So this could be a great, really high airflow option for your home rack. Not a bad build. I'm Wendell, this is Level 1, I'm signing out, and you can find me in the Level 1 forums. Hey, if you do a build with one of these, show it off in the forum. Let's take a look at it, judge it. I mean, this is the white case after all, so I mean, you know, whatever.